be, what is it, Saturday, Sunday? I lost track of stuff. Give me a second. I'm trying to get, which screen am I at? Okay, just want to make sure the stuff is streaming correctly. I swear I'm prepared for this stuff. I swear I do. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that's good. Just want to make sure that that's playing. Alright, so today I'm going to do a short art session. And like I said, I apologize for the last couple of days, guys. It has been incredibly hectic. When I tell you that my house is getting overhauled, like my house right now currently looks like Swiss cheese. I have holes everywhere. Texas, that's probably the shittiest construction I've ever seen. And that also include pipes. So they had to they're repiping my house right now, which practically costs a small fortune. I'm going to leave it at that. So they're now on day 4, and then they're gonna go ahead and Monday start plugging the holes back up. So it's gonna be a couple hectic days. So today the contractors are taking a break, and God bless them, dude. This is not an easy thing to do, man. Just trying to go through this process. As usual, I always like to have give kudos to Stream Beats. They do what's called streaming royalty-free music. If it wasn't for them, my stream would be extremely quiet all the time. So one of the things that I want to do today is work on some character designs. I know that I normally tend to draw. As you guys know, me and Laura Byron currently aggressively working on the story Bible. We are trying to do our best. Like I said, we're picking back up. The webpage up, social media's up, everything's back up. So now is time to work. We're picking up where we left off, and it is going to be fun. So this is one of the species called the Bloopies. And I don't want to spoil it away too much, but there's these little adorable mechanisms. So when you meet them, they're like this. They are mineral eaters. Excuse me, like I said, I have dust all over my house. So they're mineral eaters. So when you meet them, they kind of look like this. And then if they get access to any mineral, then they go ahead and start kind of taking shape of that mineral until they turn to this. So this is like, I don't want to say infant, it's this lack of minerals, fully charged with minerals. So that's what we got going on here. So that's why you see this. Now, depending on what type of crystal or metal or whatever they get access to, the body kind of takes shape. Think of like a Kirby, but for minerals. It's the best way that I can do it. So this is pretty much my original pencil line. I normally go, sorry guys, I thought I'd turn like, God, I don't want to talk to people today. I'm tired. Okay, there we go. That should be doing that. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing just some base coloring. This is my pencil line. This is literally straight from my sketch, but you can see my line art there. I already went in and I cleaned out quite a bit. Even though I use levels and all kinds of techniques, there's still sometimes certain lines I do like to clean out. Okay, and I'm going to try to do some of these throughout the next couple weeks. Like I said, I'm trying to pick up where we left off with Astrocats development to show you guys what we're doing. Currently right now, I work between a software called, what's the other one? Clip Studio, Paint is one that I use. And then Photoshop. Photoshop is my original baby, so I'm going to be working on Photoshop for today. Okay, so I'm going to call this line art. Okay, and when you guys came in, you probably saw me looking at this color wheel, and that's because I want to do something that has a split complementary color. And so you have, so let me explain that a little bit. So you have complementary colors is pretty much the colors adjacent from each other. So if it's violet, then it's purple. If it's red, it's green. If it's blue, it's orange, right? So yes, then you have, so you have base tones. So you got the primary tones. So that is, so this primary, primary, blue, primary. Secondary is a combination of blue, red and purple equals, red and blue equals purple. I swear I can do this. Purple and yellow equals green, so that's a secondary. Yellow and red equals orange, that's a secondary. And then you have, so it's parent, children, grandchildren, and the grandchildren is when it gives you the red, violet, so on and so forth. So you have the primary colors. I'm going to go ahead and turn this up. Then you have some of the color theories that you have one of those. So you have what is known as a complementary color. So if you are going to go with, like, let's say I'm doing a logo, and you see this a lot, especially on sports logos. You will see that they're constantly using like complementary colors for the designs. You don't believe me? Look them up. I'm not gonna pull any of them up because they're copywritten logos, but you'll see what I mean. So you see a lot of orange with blue. So it is a primary color, and then it's going to be complemented by the secondary color. Now for this exercise, I want to do a split complementary. So if I'm doing violet, the complementary will be on average will be yellow. But in this case, since it's a split complementary, I want to go with the yellow orange and the yellow green. It's going to give you a really interesting color tone. You'll see what I mean. So from here, I'm going to create myself my template. Oh my god, my nose. And I'm going to create myself a gradient. This is an all artist painting technique I used to use back in the day. And I'm going to use my gradient tool. Now, I don't want to go too crazy with the colors, because keep in mind, this is going to go for animation, and the fancier the colors you have, it gets more difficult to track and make sure that it seems seamless. So yeah, so that's what we're doing now. So we're going to do this. Oh, yeah, so this is the kind that I want. Yes. Select. Collapse, please. Escape. Escape. Okay. So now that I have this, I want to... Man, I'm feeling extra special this morning. I should be able to... Did I change something again? Deselect. Nope. It's just active. So the way they do the gradient tool right now, which is crazy, they go ahead and they generate a mask layer to add the color, and to me it's annoying because now it's just inexplicably increasing the size of your mask or your file size. Should be able to double click on that. Why you're not giving me the colors no more? Okay, they probably added some new view. Filters, no, windows, gradient. Okay, that's the gradient tool. I want to create a new one. So that's another way to go about it. That's a workaround. So right now I want to add some of these colors. So I'm going to go ahead. Once you click on that, let me go to the next screen. Okay, I want to add this purple. It's going to be one of the colors that I add. Then I'm going to add a color right here. I'm going to add this. And then so it's going to be kind of like a gradient tone. I'm going to add that. So it gives me this really unique color spectrum. So I'm going to hit OK. And what this does is when I do that gradient, it didn't save it. Of course it didn't. What was I thinking? Let's try this again. I appreciate what Adobe's trying to do, but I hate how ridiculously complicated they're making stuff now. Like back in the day, you used to just hit OK. Yeah, back in my day, back in 1998, when I started using Photoshop, this old funky right here. Okay, so I'm going to hit new to make sure it's there. You see it. I'm going to hit OK, and now when I do that gradient, I have to go up here, find the damn thing, and then use the damn gradient. Lord help me. Okay, so this is what I want right here. This was giving me a really nice spectrum. And then once I'm going to do that, I'm going to grab this layer, and I'm going to drop it over here. Or, even better, I could just make a brand new one, because I just realized... And I'm just going to do a basic gradient. There we go. So that gives me a color picker, and to make sure that this is an actual... Sorry, I feel really... I think part of it is that I'm still exhausted from everything that's going on the last couple of days. Alright. So right now it's a layer, it's a what is called a mask layer. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rasterize that because I just wanted to pick, rasterize, right click. Where's my rasterize? I just saw you. Rasterize? Nope. Rasterize. Does it not give me the option no more? What the hell? I just saw it. Layer, merge layer, blend in your group, and then okay, well I guess it's not there anymore. You know what? I'm just gonna move forward because I keep doing this. I'm gonna be here all day. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started now that I have my color palette. So meaning that when I'm coloring, and this is also a good exercise if you're trying to do like a lighting Not sure if you've seen more like the Steven Universe kind of like color tone, so you'll see like a whole painting and it's only painting a particular color tone. You're not allowed to use blacks, you're not allowed to use white, you're only allowed to use the colors. This is that exercise right here. So for this sake, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this. I'm going to lock these layers. Back here, I always keep my original. I'm not going to show the original because I have a phone number on there. And I don't want to accidentally spew somebody's phone number all over the internet. They'll be very mad at me. Okay, line art. I always use colors. Color coordinate your stuff because if you're as groggy as I am, it's a good idea. Just saying. Okay, so now that my file is prepped, let's go ahead and get started. So I want to add... So granted, I can go with a monochromatic tone. So instead of doing this, so let's do like amethyst. Amethyst is my favorite stone, hence why my engagement ring is an amethyst stone. My fiancé asked me, what is your favorite stone? Amethyst. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this. And cancel G. This one I should be able to do right off the bat. There we go. Gives me a nice clean gradient. Not quite what I wanted, which means I need to go back to that gradient tab. Let me see what I got going on in here. Ah, I see. Come on. Select. Choose that purple. There we go. That gives me a nice solid gradient. So let's go down here. New, because I don't trust this new Photoshop. There we go. The problem is it was stopping halfway here, and I just did not like that. So I'm going to try to push that up a little bit more. Alright, sweet. So that gives me a couple things that I can play with. Alright, now I'm going to go right here. I'm going to call this base. It's just the way that I work. There is no right or wrong way to do this. This is just something that I developed throughout the years. So I like the fact that it is, like I said, I love purple. So I'm going to start with that. And for my painting, I tend to use the pencil tool, and you'll see right here in a minute. What those of you guys who followed some of my drawing stuff before, this is how I used to do really fast production work back in the day. Let's see, you go ahead, because as the pencil tool is going by pixels versus when you're using the airbrush, it goes pretty much by like there's a drop off to the brush. But this way I can easily color it, seal it, and be ready to go. And right here, I'm going to change colors, D for default. There we go, darkening that out. I'm probably going to change that color here in a little bit, but as long as it's filled out, I don't care. There's some really quick concepts that I'm working on. Supposed to be a cute little adorable thing. Now the other thing that I want to try is, so for those edges, I want to try that mid-tone of orange. And because this is kind of going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be a kid show. It is not. It is not going to be a kid show. We're trying to aim towards the young adult demographic. I want the colors to be kind of fun and vivid. So right now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, when you're having colors, you make sure you do yourself your little swatches. And actually I'm going to create a separate layer for that. So purples. So that way you can color pick exactly the color you want for that. Swatches. Okay, and for the purple, so I want to balance this out a little bit. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Oh, okay, I want to pick some like yellowish colors, and I want to use this right here. And you'll see how I unified this here in a second. I'm gonna go up here, swatches. The problem is going back and forth. It's too easy to get that messed up. Now, this looks okay. Whatever. However, this is kind of like the little character that eats slime. So what I do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna lock my transparent pixels. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean this out a little bit. Make that line a little more solid. And I like to bolding the edges on my characters, especially if there's a point of focus. But again, that is a personal preference. There's absolutely no right or wrong way to do your stuff. There really is not going to tell you this right now. That's the beauty of art. You could do practically whatever you want. And yeah, well, it's really hard to get away from the known aspects of what we're used to in a day-to-day. It is fun to just go on a, you have what I like to call a crap sketchbook, where you go ahead and you're just bored and you just doodle random nonsense. And sometimes that's how you get some of like your best ideas. Like I can't even make that up. So more of your creative ideas, and of course always reference other artists. I always like to look at what other people are doing. Okay, there we go. So it looks nice and clean. Now I'm going to do that transparent line thing. So let me show you why I'm doing that. Okay, so I have this nice yellowy color. I'm going to select that. And now when I'm doing that, I'm going to test something out. And it gives it more of a kind of gelatin-ish look to the line art. And then where I can fix that. It's not light enough. I want it to be lighter than that. So let me try a more poppier yellow. Nope, not bright enough. So for this one, as long as I'm staying within the same schema. There we go. I kind of like that. It's a little more vibrant. Okay, now the question is, should I leave the inside of the eyes same color? Well, this is where you test out. Again, we're just experimenting here. It's okay if this doesn't look great the first time. Okay, now the reason we're starting to see some of those colors underneath is because, remember, I did select black. There we go. So you see how that's starting to give it more, it's a little bit more dynamic. It's a little more fun to look at. It's not just black and white lines. And I can go in here, now that I have this color that I do like, I can go here and I can solidify some of these lines. Just makes it nice and fun. Don't get me wrong, I love the pencil art look. I always have. Those two guys have been watching me work on the Alien Rider all these years. I mostly operate on doing pencil art, keeping my pencil line art. Why? Because it just makes it feel human. Especially in an era where everything is like over digitized. I like to see the human element coming through. And that's especially through as of late. I have no issues with AI. I do use AI for my projects to experiment with. You cannot be completely closed off to what's coming. And when I mean it's coming, it's coming. There's no buts, ifs about it. The genie's been let out of the box. So you can either work against it. I mean, do not stop developing your skills. Or you can learn how to use it to amplify your skills. I'm not going to be like one of these people who's like, oh yes, I'm going to take your jobs. No, it's taking people's jobs. But it's good to be able to, how do you say, just know what's out there. Alright, so here we have the eyes. I think this is a little much out here, so this is where we start experimenting. Okay, so I have white out here, a little too bright. What if I turn that black? What does that look like? A little creepy. But that to me looks a lot more alien. What do you think? They're supposed to be cute little aliens, but I kind of like that with the inverse color instead of just being white. Look at that. I think that's cool. So I'm probably gonna run with this color tone. So let me go to the swatches. Keep in mind that I can move this wherever I want. And the other thing you need to do, guys, is make sure when you're testing these, make sure you test them in different backgrounds. Oh my god, my nose. Texas is killing me. So this is what it looks like. So depending on what background you have it standing in front of it, it's going to give it a different tone. Right now it looks okay because it's standing on a blue background. Just so you guys who know me, I tend to work on a blue background. I was used to working 16-hour days at the studios where it's like I'll go from one studio, work 8 hours, go to another studio 8 hours. So this is a one way to save your eyes. And sadly, I'm reaching that stage of life. I'm 42. I'm gonna be 43 in a few months. Where now, like, the nearsightedness is kind of trying to get to me. So I have to kind of go like this and look at items from here to read it. So whatever I can do to minimize the damage to my eyes, I am going to do it. Let me tell you what. Go right here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to turn that red. Okay, so here's the beauty of this. So I have my swatches. I can easily move them because they're on their own layer. Now that I have that, I can go over here. I'm gonna save it real quick. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the base color. And this one's going to require a little more work. So for right now, I'm just going to do, base 1. I always like to keep them separate, just in case I need to go back in and do cleanup. Base 2. If you have the layers, use them. Use your layers. Okay, base 2. Yes, okay, excuse me. Alright, so I'm going to start with my base color purple. Now I can either do this in one shot or I could be really lazy about this. Let me show you what I mean. So if I select the outside, inverse selection, paint bucket. But the problem, that's what it does. So what I need to do, I need to go here and I need to turn off contiguous. Nope. Is it anti-alias? I think no, it's anti-alias. No. Oh, Dad, I feel like an idiot. Sorry. My trick backfired. Select. Over here. Select. Select. Inverse. And then I want to minus that selection. It's turned out to be way too much work. F it. Or what's the new one they got? Where you just select the object. This is me sometimes. I was trying to find the fastest way with the new tools. Nah, it's still a pain in the ass. So let's go old school on this. That's okay though. That's the fun part of this process. You force yourself to do new stuff. And I'm gonna go right here, my line art. I'm gonna drop that to 30% so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Why am I not worried about being all the way to the edge? Well, because after one point the line art, you're not gonna see it anyway. Alright, just simply doing some fast coloring. And the reason why the illustrations in analog and not fully digital is because, again, I've had a lot of construction going on around my house. I've had to turn off my AC. Believe it or not, I had to turn off my tower because it got so hot in here. My AC went down. And I got very blessed. I had an amazing general contractor in here. And he figured out what triggered my AC to go down. And I could sit here and try to point fingers. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not going to point fingers because a lot of us like, oh, it's kind of convenient that it went down when it went down. It's like, dude, it could. My house is 20 years old. It could be anything, literally anything. So there we go. So now I have the base color. I'm gonna turn the line art back on. Cool. Now from here, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go back to 100%. So the way you do that is that you have your selection tool, and then you go ahead and you go from 0 to 0 is 100%, 1 is 10%. So that's pretty much what I did. I just did with the shortcut keys. Okay. So now that I have that, let's go ahead and go to the second phase, which is doing the edges. And this is gonna be a little tricky for this. So this I'm gonna probably do a little bit more manual drawing here, and I'm probably gonna do some cleanup as well. And are there more efficient ways to do it? Absolutely. But as I'm doing this, I'm also brainstorming a couple things about this character. Like, the biggest issue that's going to be with these little guys is how to animate them. So I'm trying to figure out as I'm working on these, and this is part of the process of pre-production, is it's not just creating a cool design, is how do I put this emotion once it's inside the system? Because that's where a lot of people kind of shoot themselves in the foot. So right here, see, so we have these gems. So the upper half is going to be fully colored and then comes down. And this, I might modify this a couple different ways. Because remember, he's supposed to be one continuous rock. So these back here might be fully orange. That's what I love about pre-production. You get to really think things through. If you're just kind of going straight arrow, you're gonna come across a lot of problems later. And let me tell you what, this is what you see animation tests of some of the characters and stuff, because you can have a cool character, but if you're working within a budget and that locomotion of that character might be, unless you're being blessed by the fathers of unlimited funds, you have to keep that in mind. That's why you sometimes go back to like some of these older films where not only the concepts were great, but because of the limitation of the technology at the time, they are unable to do what they really want those things to do. So now that you're seeing the more modernized versions of those characters or those ships, those powers, you can see that what they actually will freaking do, because they are no longer tied by the technology. It's now cheaper to do special effects and all kinds of stuff. Like, I can keep going on and on and on and on about production and budget and stuff, and it is important to stay with a budget. I know the last couple years, a lot of these companies, they were all about unlimited budgets. We have all the resources that we need. The company doesn't care, just make me good content. And now we're starting to see with the economy changing and production budgets have just kind of bloated. And you can go online and look at other, there's plenty of animators have been talking about this, is that the budgets got too bloated, and unfortunately they were not making the money back because most of the money used to come out from theaters, but now people are like me. I don't like going to theaters anymore. I have not set a foot in theater since... I think I had one date a couple years ago. Yeah, I mean, that tells you how often I go to the theater. So now that people like me have gotten accustomed to just waiting and showing up on streaming a few months later, there's no point for me to go to the theater, which kind of sucks because I'm hurting my own industry. However, I'm also looking at the cost and return. And so I'm a ROI, return on investment person. If I'm spending $20 on a ticket, so first of all, I'm already getting to the cost. There's the cost of the cost of time and the cost of resources to get there. Then I get in there, it's $20 just to get in. And if I want to get a snack, then there's the overinflated price of the snacks to get in there. Then if I'm sitting in the theater, I have no way to pause it if I have to pee or do whatever I need to do in the middle of the film. And there's the fact that you cannot control the other patrons in the theater. I absolutely hate going to the theaters because of this, because I am unable to kind of pause things, and yeah, I'm not a fan of it anymore. I'm just not. So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. So I am hurting my own industry, but again, I don't like dealing with other people. Believe it or not, I'm kind of a bit of an introvert. I'm kind of an extrovert to my friends, but me, myself, this to me right now, this is an idea of a good time. Sitting at home, quietly, in my house, as I tell people, I'm enjoying my mortgage. And I just literally enjoy just my me time. I really do enjoy my me time. My brain is constantly going. I'm constantly tasked with dealing with very complex issues. So I do enjoy having some time to myself. Okay, so right here, I want to keep kind of like this little chemically, like a little chemical look to the character. So I want to add, I don't want it to be too aggressive. That's too light. This is why I like swatches, because I can compare next to each other. I think that's perfect right there. You see what I mean? But I personally, I feel life feels really exhausting recently. I don't know, it could be my age. I don't know, is it because, and it's not just me, I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends, and we all feel kind of burned out and spent, and I think it's just, life's just gotten harder. And this is not me doing a political rant. I am not inviting you to come in here and say crazy crap. Please don't. I will boot you off. I am not either for party My vote is my own between me, my higher power, and that voting booth. So it's not me saying anything towards any party or anything. But man, it just feels life just feels hard. I don't know how to say it. Life just feels hard. I said it. Um, so all right, so let's go ahead and do a little more cleanup here. So as of late, I love to go out of my house, here and there, but I really just enjoy being at home, being with my cats, playing with my friends online, socializing at home with, my friend. I do have a friend that lives with me. I take care of her. She's a really nice person. She took care of me when I was a teenager, and she hit some hard times, so I take care of her now until she passes on. Really, just an amazing person. Um, and yeah, so this is what I enjoy. Just quiet things. I don't like clubbing. I do love going to gardens though. It's just I was planning, believe it or not. So this a place in Seguin, Texas. I live just in the outskirts of San Antonio, and there's a place in Seguin, Texas, where they have a what is called I call it a squirrel hunt, but it's called the Trail. And then on top of that, they have the world's largest pecan, where they made a giant mobile, like 30-foot long pecan, because apparently Seguin, Texas is the largest pecan producers. And I was gonna do that this morning until I walked out that door, and I was like, bro, no, it is way too hot for this. And I kind of just about faced and went back inside, and I was like, no. And it's not that I can't do well with the heat. It's just that I'm already not at 100%. And walking in 100 plus degrees in humidity, I don't care what anybody says. I grew up in the tropics. Sitting in heat, constantly humidity will drain you. And I'm already tired. I have another day of construction coming in tomorrow. I don't have the energy. I just don't have the energy. So I'm hoping within a week or two, my fiance will be moving here soon. I'll be able to start posting maybe some of the shenanigans here in Texas, either on the social media page or whatever, so you guys could see what the creators of the Astrocats are doing. But yeah, my favorite hobby is finding free shit to do. Not even lying. It's like one of my favorite top things to do. I just love it because I did not grow up in a very affluent family. We migrated from Puerto Rico, even though yes, Puerto Rico is a territory. I got you. However, anybody that's lived in the island will tell you Puerto Rico is very poor. Um, and unless you're a tourist, you pretty much lack a lot of things. Oops. Okay, so I need to watch out around the ice. Okay. But it's very poor. Only people that really enjoy the island are the tourists. Assuming they're not jerks. We get a lot of people, at least back when I was growing up, we used to get a lot of people that thought, oh, I'm in Puerto Rico and can do whatever I want. Yeah, no. Um, but if you're an actual native islander, it's kind of a shit show. Not even gonna lie. You can give me hate mail you want. I was born and raised there. I don't care. That was my experience. And they still got a long way to go. They need to do better for the people there. That's why so many of us moved to the states. It's lacking, it's lacking opportunities, and the opportunities they're very minimal. And then people think, oh, I'm in the tropics, I'm gonna pay people garbage, not realizing that we are American citizens. And yeah, it's a show. Anyway, I think I went off a tangent there. um, but anyway, yeah, I did went off on a tangent. I'm okay with this. I can live with this. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of this. There we go. Making sure all those purplies are done. We're gonna fix some of this right here. This looks... Alright, there we go. Okay, so let's do that, and then let's go back over here. Grab that yellow, clean that out. Okay, it's over here, base. Don't worry, I'm gonna clean this line art here in a second. Oops. Why is that doing that? Am I picking the wrong yellow? Nope. Okay, there we go. I don't know why, that's weird. Something's, I don't know what is it. There's something about the updates they're doing in Photoshop. It's really jacking up the system sometimes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna grab the eyes, internal. There we go. And then let's go back here. Select this. There we go. And let's add some. I said I could use the lasso tool, but for this sake, I'm not going to. Now, before I go back and clean up some of these colors, make sure you turn off the lock transparent tool. Then go back in. And I love the human imperfection. It just makes it look organic to me. Like the slick look, I see it, and I see it a lot all over DeviantArt. I see it all over. It's why I left DeviantArt towards the end. I haven't been on DeviantArt in a couple years. I still have an account there. I need to go back and really clean it. But for right now, I just noticing that I will see incredibly beautiful artists like pour their heart and soul into their art, and then someone vomit like some Naruto garbage piece that like the anatomy made no sense, and people will like give them all the credit, and I'm kind of going, nah, I'm okay. I did try ArtStation for a bit. ArtStation are for like really hardcore artists, and I love the arts. I really do. I really do. I've been an artist since I was 5. My mom encouraged me. Unfortunately, yes, it was her anniversary of her death, but she encouraged me a lot to pursue the arts because she was born in 1940. Yes, they had me old. But she was not. Her only options being born in 1940 is be a school teacher, be a secretary, be a nurse. That's it. Or a housewife. That's were your options. So she kind of filtered her love for plants and art through me. So yeah, and I kind of, it's funny. Anybody knows anything a lot about me? I love plants. I mostly love looking at them. I love also learning a lot of problem solving from them because I try to dabble on different types of plants. And if you know anything about plants, is that they're not all the same. Just like people. I've been a college instructor. I've been a supervisor, business owner. Like I said, I'm just now getting myself back together after a really rough, and I mean rough, couple years. Being a caregiver is no joke, guys. So that kind of ate up most of my career. Unfortunately, that's the main reason why I left the animation career. I was finally on my way, and then mom and dad got dementia at the same time. Showed up on my doorstep with a social worker telling me either you take them or the state takes them, and I had to put my dreams on hold. And then by the time I was able to go back, it was after the 2008 collapsed. I was too old. No one, and this is the harsh truth about the animation industry. They don't like hiring senior, mature artists because there is such a pool of young artists they can low pay to do the work. So if once you become a senior artist, your best gig is to either start your own company or to go do something else. There is no in between. Alright, but anyway, so here's what I want to show you guys. So from the first color set to the second set, so I've added an additional color there. I really like how that's turning out. So I'm gonna go right here. I do want to do a little more here with these stones. And I'm gonna go back to the base. I'm gonna test it out here. Yeah, there we go. So that way some of these have a little bit more dimension. And I'm sticking to the color palette. Yeah, but I miss animation. I don't miss the pay. I don't miss the constant hustle. What you're in one project, you have to make sure you're already reaching out to your contacts. Hey, this contact's gonna give out. And the worst part is if you're too sufficient or you're too efficient on your job. And I know this sounds terrible. Sometimes they only hire you for the need of that project. And then once the project is done, then you immediately are terminated. You're like, go, there's no longer a need for you. So you have to be really careful when you're working not to accidentally put yourself out of your own job. Sounds terrible, but it's so true. It's so true. Okay, and I still have friends that are doing it. You know, mad kudos to them. I don't have the strength for it, and I'm 40. I'm 42, gonna be 43. I need health insurance. I need, and the ACA doesn't cut it. Cause keep in mind, ACA, all the insurance plans automatically withdraw money out of your bank account. So if you've been saving, and then suddenly it's been months you can't land a gig, they're gonna keep overdrafting your account. So there is no saving grace. So yeah, you gotta work. And that's why I completely changed what I do. And now I use a UX developer. It's what I do for a living now because it's more stable. It comes with health insurance. Health insurance doesn't seem important when you're young kids. It's very important when you get old. Oh, I keep putting this in the wrong spot because I'm an idiot. Swatches. There we go. There we go. Cool. Alright, so let's do the next one, base 3. And I'm going to save this. Excellent. Cool. Still doing good. Making sure I'm still streaming and not talking to myself. Yep, I'm still streaming and not talking to myself. Hey, whoever's watching, appreciate you, man. Always appreciate you. So let's go to base 3. So as you can see right now, it's a pretty interesting design. And let's go ahead and put it on white. Look at that. That is a different, look at that energy for that. Like this thing radiates. I think that's really cool. And this is stuff that you might want to try with depending on what color you put them on. It's going to give you a different energy. So if I put it on black, look at that. So these things could be gray and glow in the dark. Just outside is what it will look like. And then this is just for production that I have this color right here. Oh my god, my nose. Folks, my nose is killing me. But anyway, let's go back to the big boy right here. So let's go ahead and start the way that I did before. So I'm going to start with that purple. And like I said, I always use my pencil tool. It allows me to go ahead and close it. I'm going to drop the opacity of my main layer so I can see what I'm doing underneath. And like I said, this is one of the alien creatures for Captain Hobbes and the Astrocats. Like I said, this is going to be going towards our story Bible. I don't want to give too much of the details because again, that's part of the fun of developing this stuff. But so I'm more of, I can do the production. The production process is just more grunt work, which I've done it. I've done everything from animating, mostly like puppet animation, to doing some of the rigging, doing the actual assets creation, storyboards, animatics, you name it. I've done it in the past. I am very rusty. I mean, the new stuff they have right now is just phenomenal. And I love going on LinkedIn and looking at what some of the younger animators are doing, and they're just blowing it out of the park. Like, it's amazing. Alright, so now I got my base tone. Sweet. Now from here, keep in mind, this is what I was testing over here. Oh, did it actually move? What did I do over here? Oh no. Oh, I feel like an idiot. Stop doing it. Nope. Okay. I threw myself off because the line art is light. Again, not fully awake. Just bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to borrow this inside purple right here. Now that his base is there. And as you can see right here, there's like a little blob. I expect that to be perfect, and that's fine. There we go. So that gives it a nice... To me, it's just a point of reference, and I'm going to clean that out. From there, let's go ahead and select the orange edge. Saving. I'm going to lock this layer. I'm going to lock that layer so they do not move. And make this brush a little thicker. Again, this might change a lot later on, because once you start moving, so everywhere there's a joint, keep in mind, I'm gonna have to find a way to do like a fluid motion on the arms or something, because everywhere these bends, now these little lines, I have to follow, so I might have to find a good solution for that. But for right now, we're just having fun putting this together, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it, but it is, know that it is in the back of my mind. I am not ignoring that. So why is this line going through? Well, it's masses. The face, so the arm right here is kind of going around it, so it's mass 1, mass 2. The face is overlapping part of mass 2 right here on the arm there, so that's why you're gonna see a little orange streak going here separating the face from that arm. And you have to keep track of your masses. I don't care what anybody says, it is important to keep track of your masses. Even as simple cartoon as Dexter's Laboratory, you still got to keep in mind of the mass, the locomotion, which means the skeleton structure underneath. A lot of people think it's great to draw characters for like I said, I go back to Dexter's Laboratory. That was pretty ingenious when you really think about it. Like, they had to really think how Dexter's draw, because his legs are so tiny. It's just 2 little boots, just kind of going around in a circle. I love going back watching those like really old cartoons, Billy and Mandy, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls. I mean, Powerpuff Girls didn't even have hands. No hands. Talk about saving money on the budget. Okay, so this character's going to be a little more complex, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. So let's go ahead and clean up this line art a little bit. Like I said, this is a concept. There'll be a much cleaner version of this later on, but for right now I'm just trying to solidify the characters for the Bible. Save. Save often, kids. I can't say that enough. Save often. Save. Let's see what we got. Go over here and tackle those gems over here. Yep. I'll leave this alone for right now, the little bubbles, because I haven't done anything with them yet. I'm checking over here. If you're talking to me, I apologize. Those of you guys have seen me stream before. I do try to look up once in a while. Normally it's just me talking to myself, so I kind of pay attention, but I don't pay attention. I don't know. I do the best that I can. Right now I'm testing this on OBS. I'm probably gonna go back and do some of my gaming on OBS because I noticed that the Twitch studio, unfortunately, they stopped support for it. I'm just pretty sure that's just Amazon telling them, hey, cut your budget, knock this off, nobody's using it. Let another third party deal with it. So, yeah, so I am testing OBS again. OBS got really weird for a while there. They just kept making changes, and it's knocking all of my stuff out. But I just had to stop. I was like, I can't be ready for streaming, and it takes me 30 minutes to get rid of the streaming, and by then I already lost my 1 hour window because they did an update, and that's why I left OBS. If you look at some of my earlier stuff, it was on OBS. But for right now, like I said, I'm just kind of playing it by ear. That's the amazing part about technology. Like, just when you think you got it, you got your system going, bam, they do an update. Or they force you to pay for everything. Like, they nickel and dime you, which is upsetting. Because if you have a good product, instead of nickel and diming folks, just I don't know. I know money needs to be made, but just have like versions like Lite and Pro and all that stuff. And this stuff gets expensive, man. I don't care what anybody says. I pay just for my Photoshop. I pay on a monthly basis. I guess the reason it doesn't bother me too much is because back in the day, I remember back by like every 6 months, and this is back in the 2010s, by the way. It was $600 to get an update. It was almost $1,200 to $1,600 to get a master. To get the update was $600. So while it sucks right now that we're paying for subscription, I kind of feel conflicted because I remember what it was like to like one person being one version, another person being another version. So yeah, I'm paying a couple bucks here and there, but at the same time, I always have the latest version of the software. I never have to worry about putting a freaking, code, pin, or whatever for software because it's just a name and password. Or my favorite back in the day, certain systems will have a dongle. It was an activation key to keep people from stealing the software, and it was such a pain that if you lost that little dongle, you were SOL, and that sucked when you were in certain projects and the dongle went missing or snapped or whatever, because people do have pets and stuff. Yeah. So we got this right here. Oh, I love it. This is awesome. I said right now, for the time being, I do want in the future do like scheduled art sessions for the Astrocats or for Alien Writer, my own personal project. For right now, I'm just kind of just playing it by ear because again, I have a lot of life changes coming up. I am not a 20-year-old that can just randomly go, yeah, I'm gonna do this. No, I have adult responsibilities with adult bills, with adult people I'm taking care of, and it's just it's a lot. So we'll see what curveball life throws me. For right now, I'm doing the best that I can. Like I said, right now this week is redoing my old house. I never been to a remodel before. Technically, this doesn't count as a remodel. What they're doing is fixing the bone structure of your house. But I'm gonna count it as a remodel. And let me tell you, this is stressful. Even though I'm not the one even doing the work, I am exhausted. And it is expensive. Even with an inspection, it has turned out not as I hoped. But I've also come to learn that shoddy construction is normal for the state of Texas. I don't know why they think this is okay. But if you do move to Texas, please, even if you buy new construction, bring an inspector. That's what I'm going to say. Bring an inspector every step of the way. It might be $300 a pop. But they will try to cut corners, and you might not see a big thing at that point. Later on, it will be a big thing. I assure you. So yes, do not go cheap on that. Alright, let's see what I got so far. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and add some of these other colors here. Alright, so I'm gonna start by locking the layer. Oh, I do want to add one more color to this. No, but let's do this part first. Sorry, my brain is bouncing a little bit all over the place. So here in the linear art, it's going to be a darker orange. Give me a second. And I might change my mind later on. I might do, there we go. Actually, that makes no sense. Because if it's a glowing edge, okay. I'm thinking of non-glowing masses versus you'll see what I mean. Give me a second. You'll see exactly what I mean. Give me a second. It's gonna make sense. Okay. So because his edges are made out of stone, technically they'll have a slight, like a gelatin / stone. It will have a slightly translucent flavor to it. So that back finger wouldn't mostly be darker. It would actually be you'll see what I mean. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna use this yellow here. I'm gonna use my big brush. I need a better setup. Brush. Oh. Messed myself up. Let me lock the layer, Anna. Lock the layer. Okay, so that's trying to get that really nice radiant tone to it. I'm gonna save this real quick. Alright, now let's go ahead and clean out that yellow line. So let's unlock this. There we go. Sorry if I'm quiet, guys. I sometimes just kind of zone out. I don't mean to do that. Like I said, I'm tired. And I'm tired, and I don't want to drop the ball. I'm tired of dropping the ball on this project. Because sometimes life would just hit you, and it won't quit. So, like I said, I'm dedicated to getting this back up and running. I really want to be successful with this. Even if it doesn't go anywhere. I at least want to say, hey, I did it. It's kind of like my Alien Rider comic book. I'm almost started book 7, and it's funny because my friends are like, why are you still working on that book? It's been almost 10 years. I was like, you're correct. It has been 10 years, but the book is based on a good friend of mine that passed away, stage 4 cancer. He was alive when I started it, and unfortunately lost him to cancer. And it's kind of like my way of saying, hey, you know, I still remember you, friend. You know, it's kind of morbid because I see his face every time that I draw it. But he was such a huge personality. Like I miss him. He's a really nice guy, and he partied a little too hard and didn't take care of his body. And Mother Nature said no, and was taken away too young. He was like barely out of his 30s. Stage 4 cancer spread everywhere. You can't. It sucks. Just thinking about it sucks. Like I get teary eyed a little bit, but I want to finish that project, and that's a personal project. That's the other reason why I haven't signed up with a studio or anything to like work on it, because again, I have responsibilities. I'm a caregiver, and I have to work a full-time job on top of everything and keep up with all the software. I do training. I still do software training, believe it or not, on top of all this, and I just don't want to I don't say mislead people. Like I hate it. I hated reading fantastic projects and then the artist had to stop. And I'll be upset at it, but then I caught myself and I'll be like, wait, I done that. I did that. So I try not to get upset at an artist for having to stop because you don't know what's going on in their life. So yeah. Some of these. So, and that's why I haven't really, like I said, the Alien Rider is an ongoing project. This one, I'm giving myself little deadlines. One, it forces me to stop and draw. That's important to me. Believe it or not, for artists, drawing is like a cigarette. You need to draw. You start getting kind of grouchy when you don't. So I always make sure to try to draw at least as much as I can. Even if it's just like on a napkin, I need to draw. So yeah, there we go. Now go back here to the line art. Yeah, look at that. Okay, let's go erase some of these. That's okay. There. So some of these we could clean out. Those are my original. So I know I've had somebody ask me, hey, I want to learn how to draw. I can't draw unless I have all these fancy tools. And I just kind of looked at them and I go, dude, if you can't draw, you can't draw. No, there's no magic pencil that says, behold, I have bestowed with you this magic pencil, and you now can magically draw. So I myself, I grab like the big, little, I use the cheap 25-cent pens that like you get like at the store, like the basic stuff. Here, let me show you guys some of my sketches. Where is my sketchbook? Okay, just to give you an example. So this is my personal study book. This is where I do focus studies. So I use this type of pen. These are my studies. I'm not using any fancy technique or anything. This is just me on the internet with a photo, just going in and using a ballpoint pen and studying. Just, timing myself, doing stuff. So I always laugh when people go, hey, I need to have this fancy thing to be a better artist. No, you don't. All you need is paper, pencil, and some dedication. And again, these are based on photographic references from the internet. I try to always give credit to the original photographer. Some of these are a little older, so I don't have it anymore. But yeah, I tend to draw, and then from that I'll draw everything from people. Here's one of animals. Again, ballpoint pen. Okay, nothing crazy. Let me see if I have one of my fun little sketches. It's just me, just goofing off, doing some fantasy like D&D art, as inspired by other people. So I tend to either go out. This is from my photos from the zoo. So yeah, I tend to call people BS when they tell me, well, I can't do this because I don't have that. It's like, no, sweetie, just start drawing. Just start drawing on anything. It doesn't have to be a fancy sketchbook. Shoot, you can go to Five Below now and get a sketchbook. Now, will I be drawing my finest stuff in a Five Below sketchbook? Absolutely not. Not because I'm a snob. It's just the paper is not doesn't have enough grit, and unfortunately, actual professional artists, myself included, when I go sketchbook shopping, I go with my touch. I don't go with what I see. Because if the paper is too slick, when you draw on it, whether it's ink or it's graphite pencil or a mechanical pencil, it will smear. It doesn't hold, and the artwork will be destroyed. So I do take my time to make sure that when I'm picking up a sketchbook, I'm picking up something that is quality. Then my efforts are not going to go to waste unless I'm just doing something like a study. Like that's a journal that I picked up somewhere. I think someone either gave me that or I picked it up somewhere. And yeah, so, but I loved it. I did find there's a shop here called Elotes Creek, Elotes Creek Studio. They're from the Blue Star in downtown San Antonio, and they sell these gorgeous leather-bound like journal diaries. I can't even describe what these things are, but they're absolutely gorgeous. They're a little pricey, but probably my next sketchbook is going to be something like that because I need to start experimenting again with like different mediums, different textures. We'll see. We'll see. And notice that I'm not really committing to anything crazy here because, again, I'm trying to give this some dimension. And if I mess it up, I just do it again. Or I can just Control C until I get to where I was before that. No, it's not the end of the world. There is nothing to be scared of. The crazy part is when you're actually sketching in a book, you try to do Control C, you're like, ah. Then you have to figure out how to really fix it. Alright, let's see how that does. Okay, so starting to get those right there. Cool. You can live with that. I think I did that backwards. Yeah, I did that shit backwards. Excuse me. Give me a second. That's good. Oh no, look, I fixed it. Oh no, terrible. Took me for, oh god, terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, there we go. Now I can use the yellow. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just a goofball. I'm just a 40-year-old goofball who just likes to chill, art, and yeah. And let me tell you, I've been doing this forever. I do my art for me. It's really the hardest part out of being an artist is having what I call imposter. I don't want to say. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna call it imposter syndrome. You always, everybody's like, oh, you're so good, you're so good. In the back of your head, you're always kind of going, yeah, but have you seen this artist? So, compared to the general population, yes, you are better at drawing than maybe somebody else that they know. But there's always someone out there that's better than you. And that's why I think I just kind of humble. I accept my art for what it is. I am not going to say I'm the best artist in the world. I am never going to do that. I am still, most people that are serious about art will tell you they're always a student of the craft because there's always a new technique. And right now it feels a little hopeless. I kind of feel bad for these upcoming artists right now because it feels that, and myself included, I'm kind of questioning, especially when I'm working in this project because I will have to use AI. We have no budget to work on this. I'm being straight honest. I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm wondering how these younger kids are going to make an actual living out of art because it is the stuff that I'm seeing AI do. It is impressive and horrifying at the same time. Like yeah, and I'm studying AI. I'm doing a course on what is it, AI for engineers at the moment, and it is the stuff it's doing is it's out there. It is crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, so let's go right here. Kind of like that. Let's go over here to the line art. I want to go back to here real quick. I want to borrow this. Let me see. There we go. That to me looks better because remember there's still kind of a glowing creature, so it implies there's a third digit back there, but they're not. Oh, did my music stop? Give me a second. I've been rambling to myself. Yeah. Oh snap! You went down. Okay, give me a second. Let me go back to. Go to Stream Beats. Go to Home. Stream Beats Daily Mix. Okay, I don't want to touch some of those because I don't know if they are copywritten, so I will check on those. I have like 2 3 playlists that I like because it's the ones that I know that are safe. Okay, then I do want to go back over here. Okay, so it's that mess in the center. Let's start right there. Okay, so what I want to do here is probably to find some of these gems, but I need to unlock this. But yeah, going back to the AI conversation, it's gonna get hella interesting the next couple years. They're already proving that it's affecting the freelance department, which most art jobs are freelance. So we'll see. But at the same time, I also see. Oh my god, my nose. Ugh, there's all this construction dust everywhere, and it's floating. Keep in mind that I did clean. I vacuumed every time they left, but until they're fully done, I just can't escape it. But yeah, writers, people that used to write certain like shorts for like how do you say, for books, instructional, they're seeing their gigs dry up overnight. It is really interesting, and they're trying to track that data, but it's so hard because a lot of the data that's coming out there is, how do you track a global data when you're supposed to be stuck to the domestic market only? So yeah. Don't mind me, guys. I get really, really involved in my economic stuff. I love reading about economics because I live in a world filled with economics. So it's good to know what's going on in your own economical backyard. Just saying. It's how I'm being able to survive so long. Like, I saw how hard graphic design was going to get back after the 2008. I literally saw most of my animation work dry up and get sent overseas. And I started seeing things like, there was a couple companies like, we can make the logo for you. It could be done in 20 minutes. And at that point I go, I see the writing on the wall. So I started retraining myself, doing more like web-based type work. And then I also started doing, how do you say, focusing more on the user experiences development. There's always going to be a need for apps, especially now everything today is not software, it's an app. So yeah, so I've been trying to do my due diligence to prepare for that. Okay, so with that, this is where we're at. It's a pretty good first concept for these guys. I think it's really neat, and keep in mind this is one color tone. Now let me show you a cool trick. Okay, so real quick before we continue, so this is on white, what they look like. This is on black. That's really cool. So these guys can be their own freaking light source if they're like in a cave. I'm assuming these guys mostly eat minerals. So on average they're in a cave environment, so they emit their own light. So that's the level that I am, how do you say, that I'm thinking about these characters when you're developing them. You kind of learn all the cool tricks. Now here's the best part, right? Let's say your art director walks up and he goes, "Hey, that's great, but the environment is mostly purple. We already got it pat down. These characters need to stand out. What do you do?" All right, let me show you. I can go into, let me see, layers. Oh, actually no, adjustment layers. Right, adjustment layers, and I am going to pick a hue and saturation layer, right? So this is overlapping on top of everything else. Now from here I can simply change the color, and that gives me a different type of alien, so you can look at how this character will look without having to redo all that process. And notice how the colors up here, because I use that split complementary color, is also affecting those right there. So it's really cool. Once you get one done, and most of them they do this in grayscale, because especially when it comes to like designing armor and stuff, you never know what the art director is going to want. So this right here is a great way for you to go, hey, I have a piece of armor, I'm gonna just lay out some flat tones on it, and then you just go with a slider and then move stuff around. So, but this is great. So now that I have this, I can test this out in this color, that color, that color. Look at that. That's pretty hot. Okay, I like that. That's pretty hot too. I like that. That's cool. And then continue from there. That's pretty hot. Again, this is split complementary tones. Okay, so this is the one that I'm on right now. So let me turn off the layer. Okay, this is a purple split complementary. So let's go back over here. Purple is the primary color, split complementary with yellow orange, right? So if I go back over here and I move the slider, let me turn that layer back on, and then I go back to like this one, blue orange. Let's go back over here, blue, this bluish purple is the main color, and then right here you have, so in this case I'm gonna say, yeah, so we have a bluish tone, and you have in this case kind of like an orange red and like a yellow right there. Look at that. Looks hot. That looks hot. Excuse me.
Mic off. Mic on.
I didn't want to sneeze on the microphone. Alright, let's continue here. Instead get some of these other colors, so it's going in the opposite direction, so it'll be more of a pinkish. So this one right here is trying to get into some of like the sub colors of it, but you know, you guys see the case that I got going on in here. This is pretty dope. Alright guys, so with that, I'm going to stop here for today. I at least wanted to do an update for Astrocats, do an updated session. Like I said, we're aggressively working on our Bible at this moment, so I wanted to show you guys what we got going on. So this is what we got going on. Working on some of the monsters. I created another one, but it's not as in detail as this one. I thought this was really interesting, so I wanted to do this one first, and then I want to move on to some of the other ones. So we're not going to post all the monsters, but we're going to post some of the monsters, and I already worked on some of them on the video, so you guys can go back to some of the Astrocats videos that I have on Twitch, or you can go to our YouTube channel, which I can pull up. Give me a second, please. Where are you? Oh, I need to create a new... Oh, that's right, my computer restarted. Alright, so YouTube. Captain Hobbes. I'm gonna go right here. See, there's Captain Hobbes. As you can see, this is our new channel. I've been posting updates as we go, as you can see. So this is completely rebuilt. You can see right here some of the fun art that I've done for promotional work, and this is me. It's called audio short art. So pretty much we have a bunch of stills that we use, and this is me developing the aliens. So this one's probably gonna go right down here is where you're gonna see this popping up. So yeah, so if you, for whatever reason you want to come and follow what we're doing here at the Astrocats team, there you are. We're also on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So let me show you the Facebook one real quick before I forget. Facebook. Y'all don't need to see that. So there we are on Facebook. So this is the OG page. This is the original one. This was one of the few pages I was able to salvage on our original, from the original to the new one. But sadly, everything else is brand new. So there's the Instagram. If you go to the Facebook page, it takes you there. Same thing goes with the YouTube. Then you also have threads. Some people love using threads, so there we go. You can follow us there. So, and then obviously we have the brand new Captain Hobbes and the Astrocats webpage, which I also be posting stuff there as well. And again, this is a work in progress. There's a lot in here that I'm still kind of putting together, but it's a start, and that's what I wanted. I just kind of wanted us to pick up where we left off, and so that way we can go back to work, and that's where we're at right now. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys joining me. This has been really fun. I feel like I dusted my old art boots. I have been doing some art recently. I'm kind of getting back into the beat of it. It's just life is busy, and like I said, right now I'm redoing my house, so this absorbs a lot of my time and energy as well. So even though I couldn't draw digitally originally, I still did it on analog, so I'm still trying to keep myself busy and working on stuff. And but anyway, with that, guys, I appreciate y'all. You're great. I promise you at some point I'm gonna fix whatever's going on in my background. It looks like a third world country back there. I know it does. I'm so sorry. But I can't really buy anything until my house is fixed, because if you ever done renovations with a house full of crap, Jesus Christ, it's a lot. It is absolutely a lot, and I'm not willing to put myself on top of that, on top of doing construction, whatever needs to get done. But anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Thank you so much, and you have a safe Sunday. I'm gonna try to stream. I'm gonna try to stream other. I think I'm gonna take a break from Spyro today. I tried playing the last 2 days, and literally like 20 minutes in, I just got summoned. Today I don't have a lot going on, but I would like to take out my friend. She's been cooped up in this house for a couple of days. She's a really sweet old lady, so I'm probably gonna take her out for ice cream or something. But I do want to go back and play some Fallout 76. I have been craving that crack all week. Those of you guys who know me, I am a huge Fallout fan. I'm a Witcher fan, Fallout fan. Love it. Believe it or not, I love Valheim too. Valheim, I made it to the Ashlands, and let me tell you, the Ashlands ain't no joke. The Ashlands ain't no joke. So yeah, it's crazy. So, but anyway, I should be playing some streaming. If I'm able to, I'm gonna do it today. Otherwise, I'm gonna rest, because again, there is a lot more shenanigans going on this week in my house, on top of me working with that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me rant. Y'all take care, and you'll have a safe Sunday. Bye.